Hello, welcome back to LIVENODING. In this episode, I want to give you a breakdown on how I created this Inkblot Mecha. So it's kind of like a robot with infinite variations. So yeah, I'm using the AI art generators, while at the same time I'm using Blender and geometry nodes to achieve something like this. So currently, I think while doing this, I can also run the AI generator. So as you can see there, all these bots have a similar shapes, and it's based on a single Inkblot. Okay, I'll show you. This is the ink. So it's symmetrical, it's very basics. Again, I'm using noise, vector noise, and I'm using SVerchok and geometry nodes. The ink is actually a geometry node setup. I'll show it to you in a bit. So the app I'm using, it's only currently available on M1 Mac. Okay, so Diffusion Bee using Stable Diffusions, and you can use text to image. So you can enter a prompt here, and it's gonna generate something. The one that I have at the moment will create something under 4 minutes per image, but image to image is, I found something that's more interesting because we can profile like an image. It's gonna try to generate something based on it, and in this case I'm using this prompt. It's an artful hyper-realistic mecha robots made of random mechanical parts, graffiti by Jason Pollock, cyberpunk. I can keep adding stuff here, maybe sharp focus, what else? Maybe I can keep adding things like a poem. Anyway, we get an options. Input strings 0.4, number of image 14, step 24. If I make this smaller, actually this can be a little bit more wild. As you can see, step 25 by default, generate. So it's gonna be generating. This will take a while. Okay, in the meantime, I will show you how I create the ink. So this is the ink part. It's from our friend, our Blender developer, Wutianging. So this one, yeah, you can download for free or you give donations. So it's very cool. I think Wutian also made a couple of different brush that you can try yourself, but I really like the Inkblot. So it's very simple and basic. This is actually just like a plane with this extruded part, but it's very cleverly done. Geometry nodes, you can see here. You can go to edit mode because it's a curve, so you can make like your own kind of shapes, and then just I always use like a mirror. Oh, okay, interesting. Apparently it's a let me go back, select this, delete vertices. Okay, yeah, I can make multiple, but anyway, from this curve, okay, we can control the, as usual, control the size of the ink, and this is the kind of, I think, the gradients control, and whether we want the front part or not. I like it like this, so we can enlarge that ink part and then some messy part. This is of course 3D, so it's also kind of cool. You can move the camera a little bit and looks like real 3D brush. This is the opacity. Okay, I really like the ink look. Anyway, that's the, oh yeah, we also have control over the animations. Anyhow, we can draw it ourselves. We draw the curve, or in this case I'm using SVerchok. You can simply use geometry nodes. However, SVerchok in my case is really powerful because we can create like something like this, like a mirror Inkblot very easily. So again, I'm using curve. SVerchok can actually generate curve objects. You can see this this output. So I'm using the Inkblot setup here, the geometry nodes, and I'm using mirror to get the result. Okay, so here we have line. I can increase the number of lines, and I can control the size of the line, and then so and I can also control the noise itself. This is the seed of the noise, and the scale of this controlling the vector noise, so I can make it large or small. And this guy, of course, like I said, it's also animatable. Let's see. Okay, there you go. Depending on the length, it's animating one by one. And this guy is also 3D, so again, we can look at it from the top view. Gonna give a different shape. Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. Yeah, like with SVerchok, by the way, you can see here I have this number range, and I'm generating 15 numbers, so it's like 15 stroke of curve. So I can increase this, so it's really powerful that way, and it's creating this kind of Inkblot shape. And if you look at this, you can then kind of imagine this could be like a mask or something, right? And then you change the seed, you get different shapes. It could be like a creature, or just like a monk sitting down. It's always, because it's symmetrical, it can give all kind of crazy random dream Inkblot. Well, okay, I have this Diffusion Bee running. It's generating something. It could be slow depending on your computer and RAM. If I close some apps, it's probably gonna be a little bit faster. If I close Safari, and yeah. But like I said, it's generating something every 4 minutes. If I close Blender, it's gonna be a lot faster as well. So yeah, let's pick another shapes. For example, this looks like a praying samurai, or could be some kind of helmet. Take a screenshot. So it's just gonna make it square for now. If I make it like really long, let's see if I can have another shapes that's, yeah, this one also looking like a samurai. You have to use a little bit of imaginations. Oh, this looks like a face, right? With the Inkblot, we have, like, in this case, it's like black and pure black, pure white, with some gradations. With the Dream Stable Diffusion's image to image, it's actually will kind of it will respect the gradations and color, but the black and white you will see will give a different result. Let me try, see if we can get something that's simpler, not too crazy, but it has beautiful shapes. You can see it's multiple lines, kind of like going through 3D. I'm just trying to get something. I don't know, it's looking, this one's looking a little bit like head of dragon or something. I'm just gonna screenshot it. Especially this one, looking like a face. Let's say I'm happy with that. I close Blender, so we have more RAM for this guy. It's gonna take a while. Yeah, okay, this is the shape. It's generating and then it's gonna continue. So if I just gonna stop here, so the value you put in, I think 0.4 and 0.3 might be good value. You can actually make this a little bit stronger, so you're gonna get the shapes that's a little bit wilder, or the one that's a little bit closer to the image. Let me try actually one of these. So let's say, okay, this one. Instead of Mecha robot, I will say samurai robot made of random mechanical parts, decorated with graffiti by Jackson Pollock's Cyberpunk Unreal Engine. Look, and the options, input strength of 7, generate. So this might take a while. So in the meantime, we can perhaps talk about other things. If you have a more powerful engine, I mean, if you have NVIDIA machine or M1 Max or M2 Max, you know, with more RAM, 16 GB, it's gonna be a lot faster. This one already a lot faster without the Blender running. Okay, so let's get this. So Diffusion Bee is still continuously being developed. It's only a few weeks, I think, or a few days, I don't know. It's really fast. I mean, the development of this Stable Diffusion and all this AI art. There is a Mid Journey, there is DALL-E 2, yeah, all sort of things. Okay, you know what? It's only generating something like a variation of this image, so I'm gonna stop it. In this case, the reason being is the value I gave. So I should have gone a little bit lower. So this make it so that it's picking up our original shapes, and then it's gonna try to use some AI imaginations and kind of guess what this image is all about. I specify this samurai robot made of random mechanical part. I could actually say symmetrical, because this is kind of symmetrical. Anyhow, let's see. So from here, you know, if you have this running on your machine, if your machine is as slow as mine, so 4 minutes per image, and you can actually sit down and redraw some of this. It's kind of like it's really strange, maybe a little bit strange kind of workflow. It's a little bit like if you're learning a language and you're not studying the grammar first. This is kind of the opposite ways. It could be like the way a baby would learn a language. Okay, instead of learning grammar, the baby will learn it faster because they don't care about structure at first. They just probably say they understand the words first, and then they will just combine words together. Even though the grammar is wrong, it might sounds correct, and continue and continue. So in this case, if you redraw this design, or designed by AI art, you kind of look at it, you will be able to, maybe you understand the shapes, and then you kind of, if you were to see another objects, you will be able to reconstruct the design, or just in adding details. That's what I mean. So from simple basic shapes, look at any objects that's interesting, maybe a pipe or something, or I don't know, like a normal objects, vacuum cleaner maybe, and then from that basic shapes you get the large shapes, and then you start adding details, and you can look at these ideas for details. So I'm just gonna wait, and while talking about this, from these shapes, the samurai, we already get something. The Jackson Pollock part is kind of the artist. You can replace this with anything. This Jackson Pollock tends to give like a nice colorations, like randomness. So I quite like this design already. It's a samurai, maybe the legs a little bit short. I can actually lengthen this, like making this kind of vertical, and instead of just square, but square is the fastest. It's only 512 by 512 pixel. It's not too big for RAM. It's the most default. It's not too high in resolutions, so it's pretty good. It's the most basic requirement, I guess. There are many ways to do this kind of AI art actually. So if I go, I have Safari running, right? Yeah, just gonna go AI background generator from photo room. This is also another way. This one is probably fastest if you're not looking at the other solutions, like from DALL-E or from Stable Diffusion AI. If you have computer, you can even use your smartphones or iPad. You can just type in hyper realistic robot samurai made of random mechanical parts, cyberpunk 4K. I don't know, it's very basic. This one will give you 9 different variations maximum with the same seed. Okay, you will see this one is running online, so based on a single prompt, it's gonna generate something for you. Of course, infinite variations once again. And with this guy, because I started with this picture image of Inkblot symmetrical, it's gonna generate things based on these shapes, which is the one I really like, because it's like having conversations with the AI, like, oh, you like this, or you don't really like this, maybe make variation from this guy, put this on here, and it's gonna generate something similar to that. With this kind of solutions, you have a lot of variations as well, but the shape's gonna be random based on the database or the library of this machine. It's a bit random. You can say like Victorian samurai. Samurai sounds like Japanese, so it's making like robot that's look a little bit Japanese, but it's more like Chinese in terms of the design. You can actually specify like maybe Indian, or making like different kind of wordings that will change the design. Jackson Pollock's style generate. These are like yeah, it could be slightly different or something very similar like previous one. Yeah, it's a little bit more random, right? Decorated with graffiti. The graffiti part will totally make the design a little bit more fun and random. Yeah, we start to see graffiti happening. The robot design, well, it's kind of still kind of basic. Maybe I should specify, because I say random mechanical parts, right? It could be, it shouldn't be too random, but I like randomness. Hyperelastic robots, Victorian samurai. Victorian samurai. Android. Instead of robot, I specify android. Maybe it's more like human. Contents block sometimes. Yeah. Human slash machine. Sometimes generating something that's, it thinks it's not safe for work, so it's blocking it. If you are running it offline, like using Diffusion Bee, the result is gonna be a little bit wilder. Sometimes it's actually not safe for work. Yeah, but you can kind of see what's happening. The graffiti and just Jackson Pollock, and yeah, so with a android instead of robot, it's looking a little bit more like human. It's still quite wild. We only have 9 seeds per generations with the AI background generator from Photo Room, but with something like Diffusion Bee, you have unlimited. You can produce 14 every task, but it's not bad. Yeah, maybe you can do this overnight, or yeah, while doing this you can go doing other things. Usually your computer will freeze up because it's using a lot of RAM and memory. This might be a little bit faster and faster in the future, and I will try actually. If it can generate something under 30 seconds or just few seconds, I'll be really happy, and I can start to make animations, and from the animation we can fit this to Diffusion Bee and or something. Just so many different ways to do this AI art. So we have 3 generations, and it's gonna keep creating stuff. Yeah, but you can see the process from the basic Inkblot, just like scribbles. You can draw random stuff using Krita or Procreate or any other means. You can even feed it like a photograph. In this case, I'm using Blender and Geometry Nodes just because, but you can use anything basically. Find interesting objects, feed it into Stable Diffusion app like Diffusion Bee, and you get something in return based on the prompt. It's always based on the prompt. So if you look at this and you specify you want this to be like a mask, or instead of Android Victorian Samurai, you can have like helmet, astronaut, yeah, astronaut helmet. You can switch the words. Sometimes you get different results. It's almost like a poem, like a poetry in a way. Yeah, if you like this one, and you can put wording based on this one. You have to be really good with your wording, like a poet, in English at the moment, but you can kind of try and combine words together. You can, I don't know, combine all kind of wordings. Okay, let's see one more time. You can even put like rainy or windy, or with this robot the background is not so interesting, but you can specify a robot by the sea or something. It's gonna generate something based on that prompt. Okay, we have this robot happening. I'm gonna continue with this, but hopefully you find this useful. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.